Welcome back to Odds League Heroes. And in the top right, it is Maru. In the red, in this TVT. And in the bottom left, TheGoldenKey. In blue, so a little confusing. Looks like Maru going for a Proxy 2 Rex under the pseudonym Crimsonn this time around. Also, maybe forgetting he was going Proxy 2 Rex and just building a barracks in his main. So, maybe a little too much soju this time around. But I'm sure, well, okay, there we go. Maybe a third Rex. You know what? It's not about how long it takes to get there. It's about the journey. They say about other games. It definitely is about how long it takes to get there in SC2. But sometimes at the higher levels, a delayed push can be effective because simply people aren't expecting it. We won't have that problem here. It is a 3 Rex with gas as an afterthought. So this is very likely from Crimsonn, aka Maru, to be a Marine push. And by Marine push, I mean he's going to make Marines. Whether or not he attacks with them, that remains to be seen. GoldenKey has the makings of a Destiny Cloudfist build. The 1-1-1 on the way. No orbital as of yet, but he's got a barracks, he's got a factory, he's building a Reaper, he's seen a build order guide, and he's gotten most of it. Though there is a few platinum level signals I would recommend to him. Alright, SCV Scouts. Reaper takes the long road. I don't need no ramp. Alright, I have a jetpack. I'm gonna... Oh, the micro! I'm gonna use it. The other SCV's going back home. Reaper. Waiting for its moment. Crimsonn now adding a bunker because Reapers are very scary. That bunker will keep the other SCV from getting into the main. Or will it? Is that a wall? Is he going to add another? Ah, yes. The bunker, backup bunker. You can never be too careful. When you have 2/3 of your production out on the map, Stim is on the way, and all 4 of the Marines are going to be very excited when it finishes. Oh wait, there's Marines on the other side of the map that will also get stimmed. The decoy bunker serving its purpose. The Marines come down the ramp, which does not really help them to deal with the Reaper Hellion. Speaking of, another Marine pops out into a world of fire, literally. So, not the ideal defensive setup so far. Jimmy, can I get... I need to hear... Oh, alright. I need to know. Thank you. The Marines are building up, though, for the counter-strike. Terran offensive. We will see. A Liberator is in production. Liberator's definitely a difficult unit to deal with, especially if you're unprepared. The Marines do have technically anti-air. Liberator is on the way. Now what's he gonna do? Liberator cannot destroy the bunker, which seems like a significant design flaw, but I don't make these things. Joining up with the army. The Marines are still biding their time, waiting for their moment. Liberation is at hand. The ramp. Zoned. Doesn't really solve the bunker problem, but does give high ground vision. Unfortunately, none of these units are particularly long-ranged. They're long-ranged enough. Taking down this depot will be helpful, but also not really solve anything, as there's already... Crimsonn has prepared the quarantine backup depot, pulling a few more SCVs, just in case something needs repair. Meanwhile, the counterattack from Crimsonn. He's found his moment, and it's a good one. The ramp is down. The depot is down. But Crimsonn is a methodical creature. Meanwhile, the attacks on both sides. Ramps, the greatest enemy of Terrans across the world. A tank. There's a tank. But meanwhile, the Marines are at the main. The SCVs are pulled. Great. The stutter step boxes him in a prison of his own design. Well, I guess it's not really a choke point because the Marines were going to kill the SCVs. But he kills all but 3 SCVs. Now this is Maru. There's 3 command centers in this base. And now there's more command centers than SCVs. This tank push is still kind of a danger. Like, the Liberator and tank could do some damage. Technically, with an orbital and 3 command centers, the Golden Key's economy isn't completely out of the running. There's only 2 Marines in this bunker, and also the Liberator, the double siege, the technical push against the brute force. But the tech, like the repair, liberation is at hand. Oh, he pops out of the bunker in time. He's just losing so much auto-rep. He tries to salvage it. Oh, there's gonna have to be a lot of salvaging one way or another. The Marines at the back. The tank, unfortunately, still good against Marines. The standoff continues. Crimsonn has 18 SCVs and dropping. Forced back by the Liberator. Tank eats a hit, tries to maneuver around. Unfortunately, a tank has just as much range as a tank, which creates issues. The Marines stim into the main, which lowers their HP enough that they might... Oh, the Hellion. Gonna be microed. The mules are modding. But the Hellion micro, intense. He's targeting SCVs, which will allow the Hellion to kill it. Meanwhile, the push is grinding through the front. Crimsonn trying to muster a defense. There are 2 Marines. The SCVs are pulled. The boys actually more than enough to deal with this here. Unfortunately, the mules were also pulled. The push, slowly but surely. It knocked out the ramp. All there are both these Terrans very macro-oriented. I will give them credit. They've focused on their expansions. Golden Key, well, he's building he doesn't have any more orbitals, but he's built up more SCVs. The tank push, the most minimal possible tank push you could ever have, but a tank push nonetheless, is slowly working its way forward. A couple SCVs pulled to repair the starport. Liberator unsieges. He chooses this mode. He's right-clicked on the starport. Crimsonn seizes the opportunity. Critical. The tank just disappears. Crimsonn with a cyclone of his own. What a timing. Recognizes that the tank was a little distracted. And with it, both players will, honestly, 15 SCVs to 12. 1-1-1 for both sides. It almost evens out. Wait, what? Where did 2 Ravens come from? Golden Key has 2 Ravens, which will incidentally scout the barracks, though I don't think auto turrets are a real solution here. Somehow, so evenly matched. The repair team, it looks like Crimsonn, who would have guessed, is the first one to expand. The Ravens are heading towards the main. The barracks, I think, scout. I don't know if they're looking for the Ravens or if they're just... There's a scan of some sort. A pre-scan before the Ravens come in, which actually could do a lot of economic damage. Auto turrets getting involved. Crimsonn with nothing at home to defend. He just has to run. There's so much energy on these Ravens. They've been hanging out in the main for a while. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, the angry stepchild of turrets is just murdering SCVs down to 9. Repairs on the Cyclone will keep it intact, but, like, you didn't need to fight. Crimsonn is now the one under the SCV count he started with. Oh, my. But, no, he's not pushing this. I don't think so. Well, those tanks are... Ugh. Moves into position. He might actually... Oh, immediately lifts back up. He's used to it. No, watch out. What? He realizes the danger. As both these players really just laying into each other with aggression. What they don't have in quantity, they also don't have in quality. But still, they are willing to try. A significant number of SCVs transferred to the expansion. It looks like another orbital on the way as we get suspiciously close to looking like a standard macro game. Though if you look at the timer, that might disabuse you of that notion. As I'm excited to see what these players come up with when given a few minutes of alone time. A third command center. Well, he's had it for a while, but now just landing it at the third. A bold move. But I mean, he's uncontested. As now we will fill out the rest of the tech tree. I think finally we get a chance to give a shout out to Wheel Jack Attack for bringing us this metaphorical, not literal diamond in a sea of coal. Definitely metaphorical, but thank you for going to the Discord channel and sifting through just a ocean of mediocrity to find the Atlantis of games. Just something thought imaginary by many people who have poor imaginations, but still. Just beautiful, exciting, unique, legendary, possibly mythical. Adjectives. So, make sure to check out the Discord below if you want to be part of it. After liking and subscribing. We got so much. Like, what else? Have you guys heard of Amazon Prime? Because if not, then how does Amazon not have your data? Amazon, we know where you live. Oh, we don't say that out loud. Sorry, Jeff! My bad. Auto turrets. This time, though, gonna cost him one. Looks like the Big Daddy turret gonna take out the Ravens. Whereas the blue-headed stepchildren do not last long. And those Ravens will not be able to bring any more in. Though it will inspire an increased turret production. And you know what? I can't even blame it. For GoldenKey, though, he's looking at even more Ravens, as these players have a surprisingly high APM for how much we've seen. But it is being... Oh, well, wait, what do we have here? A Marine drop. Gets behind the turrets. Actually, a real dangerous one. No combat shields. Maybe able to target down some Ravens. The Micro. The Micro. The tanks. Blood. Butchery. Moving on. GoldenKey lockdown. Loses a couple more SCVs. It's looking like a bio army. As I was saying, so he's got concussive shells and a fusion core in production simultaneously. You don't usually see that particular combination of upgrades, but I'll allow it. All right. Yeah, it's rare to see those two in production simultaneously. But GoldenKey now very focused on his turtle Terran, and I think there's no other way to say it. As he builds up Ravens, siege tanks, and command centers, he's been allowed, like from the start, he looked like the more technical player. As he went for the 1-1-1, he went for the tank push despite some significant hiccups. Meanwhile, Crimsonn has been a bit more of a loose cannon, okay? He doesn't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to be exciting. So Crimsonn is leaning towards the cattle bruisers. Unfortunately, if GoldenKey knows what interference matrix is, he should have more than enough Ravens to, well... All roads from across the Terran lands, they lead a certain direction. And that direction is to battle cruisers. I don't know what I expected, but not with almost dead even supply, similar worker counts, and within a minute of each other, despite everything that has happened, it appears the Golden Key is preparing for battle cruisers as well. It seems a little more natural for the Mass Raven player, who's going for building armor. But wow, okay. Scout, a great scan by Crimsonn. What does he do with it? He's like, oh, an armory! Yes!
Command center upgrade complete.
An armory. So taking some tips. There are two types of mirror matchups. There's the pick ban, when, oh, you have Thors? Well, I guess I can't make Thors kind of matches. Or you have Void Rays? I guess I can't make Void Rays. And then there's the, oh, that's a good idea, copyright infringement matches. Where, an armory, that's what I'm forgetting. Let me check his test and see if he has any different answers. And in this Terran versus Terran, it looks like we're on the same page. Oh, a scan. He scans. Does he see anything of value? Do we get a counter scan? A battle cruiser! Let us see. GoldenKey interference matrix? Yes! Scrambles the cruiser. It can't jump. I mean, there's not that much to kill it, but so many flavors of... Oh, it just disappears into the void. I think that's a replay bug, but... Wow, the sensor tower spread, covering his entire quadrant. The SCV, 5 SCVs at a time for GoldenKey. Meanwhile, great Marines, they're not sensor towers, but they try their best. Yep, okay, alright, here we go. The TPM raises 6 to 9, we're almost at 1 TPM combined here. Crimsonn actually the one more focused on it, because of course GoldenKey has those Ravens, which have turrets on demand. You pay a lot of SP and gas for that privilege, but here you go. The armory did complete a while back. No upgrades yet, just now. So, unfortunately for GoldenKey, he may not realize that mech weapons upgrades only benefit vehicles. So the battle cruisers will not receive those upgrades. Plating is shared. They use the same armor between them, but the guns are different, apparently. So. Crimsonn. Oh, looks like the tanks find their way past Depot Lane. Battle cruisers now for both. Well, were there any more battle cruisers? It was a bait cruiser. Crimsonn correctly assessed that he was outclassed in the air department and has decided to focus more on a superior ground army, which unfortunately does once again get outclassed by the air department, but there's a little bit more room for maneuvering there. Widow memes? Don't worry about it. The bio-army, the supplies are about even. In fact, Crimsonn has a nice amount of workers. He's got Vikings. He's slowly putting things together. You would almost forget that this game started with a proxy Rax tank push, and both players were under like 10 SCVs at one point. That Widow mine went off, so that is there going to be a scan? Oh no, no, no. Well, that's troublesome. He's reminded that's sometimes what it takes. Bureaucracy takes a few bodies before it gets in the mode. Oh, the counter scan! He spawns the army. The Raven Fleet. Auto turrets queued up, but the Marine stim. There is a Widow Mine in a precarious position. It's gonna get a good hit. Anti-armor missile could also be used, but there aren't that many BCs. Oh no, a tank on the low ground blasting apart the Marines. The Vikings get a cruiser, but the Widow Mines get the Vikings. A near even exchange. The supplies still about even. Advanced ballistics on the way for the Liberators. Ravens chasing back. Loses one. Marines have an opportunity. Can't slam down the auto turrets quite quick enough, even though they are upgraded. More Ravens gonna go down in the struggle to slap down enough turrets to actually reach a critical mass. Vikings chasing. Supplies still close. After that, what is the exchange? 10 Ravens have died. A battlecruiser up against 60 Marines expendable. 4 Vikings. A battlecruiser, of course, we saw that earlier. The TPM will skyrocket in every possible way. More Ravens. It's gonna... Oh, wow. We have gone from the looking over the shoulder mirror matchup, like copyright infringement phase, to the pick ban phase. It's rare we see such dynamic players, but after this early game, I wouldn't be surprised. We have Thor, Medevac, Viking Marine up against a Raven, Widow Mine tank, battlecruiser. They've picked their units, they've picked their sides, they can both technically counter one another, they're getting appropriate upgrades, and they're cutting the map in half. Settle in. Go get your popcorn. Still in the mic. You can microwave popcorn. Of course you can microwave popcorn. Irrelevant. Moving on. What am I saying? That's kind of the point of popcorn. Scans. I have no idea where the scans are. Okay, there's a scan. He spots that this base is coming up. That could be a focal point. There are Widow Mines dotting the field in the semi-demilitarized zone, getting militarized again. Tanks. The only 4 Marines, I think. There are 5 Marines. Where's the 5th Marine? I don't know. Another scan. The Raven count is uncomfortably high. The Marines, though, if the Ravens are left unattended, Vikings and Marines could easily take them down. This is an army that is a little, Oh, but the Widow Mine burrow in time! Oh, no! Vikings blasted out of the sky. The scan, like, 4 pixels off. I don't know. Another mine. There are so many mines. But the planetary targeted down turrets coming up, auto turrets, but the Marines and tanks grind through them fast enough to kill some of the Ravens. A costly exchange, but both players will end still with a high supply. He's still fighting auto turrets. Their robot fathers will retreat, sending their children, who live only temporarily, to die. It's a bit of a stretch of an analogy. Still, though, solid macro from both players who have most of their halves of the map. Huge incomes right now. And those replay... Oh, wait a second. We got 3 CCs. More CCs per minute than a particularly successful Nigerian scammer. And how many so far? Oh my god, okay. Like, that's a, okay. Anyways, just up there, you'll see 23 turrets and 23 turrets for Crimsonn, so nearly 1 TPM, and 18 for GoldenKey, whereas 3 command centers, 6 command centers plus 1, but I don't know how many are, Hindsight, we're getting all of the upgrades here. We're quickly, for how this started, sprinting into the late game with Ravens, Vikings, continued exchange. You gotta be careful about those Ravens. But how does it end? They're both quick. They're building up Age of Empires level of buildings. There's a lot of minerals in the bank. Oh my god. He's getting better. You can see him actively getting better. I gotta give some compliments to these players. Remember, Bronze League Heroes isn't about actually being bronze, because nowadays that is just quite an accomplishment. But it's about embracing the spirit. And these players they've gone from embracing the spirit to embracing really just a pretty solid late game. But I can't even be upset. We're seeing GoldenKey actively learning how to lay down more auto turrets, while simultaneously Crimsonn is getting better and better at dealing with the Ravens. It's happening before our eyes. It's a sight to behold. Scans. The sensor towers are touching as they both getting as much information as possible. That's... Oh, wow. He actually has just enough. The counter scans. The Vendaya scans. But from different lands. Widowmine Raven against a more typical Marine Tank Viking medevac. The Ravens... We haven't seen an anti-armor missile yet. Maybe we have. It hasn't been a common choice. He's focused on getting enough turrets. The problem is the tanks and the Marines can take it out pretty easily. There's a lot of Vikings now. Anti-armor missile opportunity. Maybe there's one Raven on the other side. Crimsonn grinding through another vanguard of turrets. The Vikings killing some Ravens, but the turrets killing some Vikings. Oh, that turret count was really good. High sec auto tracking. Oh, is that a mule drop to repair? Crimsonn, the turrets will push forward, and the Marines are pushed back. GoldenKey will hold. On the sensor tower right now. Let's go to the Crimsonn action camp. There is a planetary constructed in the top. Wait a second.
Your forces are under attack.
Unfortunately, it is already these SCVs. Bill, do you still love me? You know it, baby. All right. Unfortunately, the other SCV walked back out and died to the splash damage. Wait, did it? I can't tell which SCV is which. Oh, it got healed by the medevac. I take it back. All right, there's a happy ending to this story. But the Widowmine's in the most detected place in the entire map. But turrets, they can't shoot down. A major design flaw. What? Do you think they're cannons? No, don't do it! They're hidden in plain sight. The turrets on both sides doing damage, but not to each other. Because there is of course that's in their contract. They can't be forced to kill their own progenitors. Well, actually, their children. What are you doing? Succeeding you, father. They grow up so fast and die so quick. The auto turret story. Oh my god, the mines. But turrets knocking down the Ravens. Auto turrets knocking down the turrets. Widow mines knocking down the SCVs. It's getting very confusing to commentate. And all of these Terran units. That's part of the problem. The auto turrets pushing forward. GoldenKey with 14,000 minerals. But only 3,800 gas in the bank, whereas Crimsonn has 3,400 minerals and 6,900 gas in the bank. All 5 Marines out of GoldenKey, completely unupgraded. Is that true? Yes. But they still... Zerg, shotgun... Wait, none of those are true. You. One Widow Mine moved to block the base, but that was, optimistic. Oh wait, that wasn't all the Marines. He's actually, there must be a hotkey somewhere. He's building, he can't help it. It's a great macro reflex. Triple armory, 4 starports, but he still has that barracks pumping a Marine at a time. Mostly for inspiration. It fills him with determination. Marines rallied across the nation. Unfortunately, they're facing obliteration. Every time they kill a turret, it's pure elation. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a weird brutation. One Marine will be rallied across the map every 30 seconds. How do you handle it? I don't know. 2 planetaries in the center, obviously. The biggest turret of them all. More scans. The army has slowly become closer and closer to invading England. But still a few Marines on the field in the mix. This is just... It's a war. The turret, I mean, it's not just a battle anymore. This is a war. It will be the whole map. Pillars of gold will be drained dry of minerals and gas. And we are no closer to figuring out who will survive with a Pyrrhic victory. Like, my instinct says GoldenKey has the army composition, but he's kind of low on gas, and at the end of the day, usually it's gas and not minerals that decide games. Usually. Another Widow Mine hit. Scans, I don't know how many, he has only 4 orbitals, which is surprisingly low. There are scans. He sees 3 more command centers. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. 3 more planetaries, which will bring the PPPM. Wait, no, PFPM. Okay. There are 32 to 22 turrets. 5 planetaries going on, no, 4 going on 7 here. The Marine, oh, did you really need to drop? It was a domestic flight. Oh. Watch out, there's a mine over there. That's a planet, oh god, these Marines. But the turrets and the planetary, the ultimate flank. The Marine's having a real rough time of it. He's just freeing up supply. That's why he's building more Marines. Oh no. Oh, no witnesses. But it was all a decoy. For the main thrust. Vikings up the center, scanned by GoldenKey. Like, wait a second. He has sensor towers across his half of the map. A counter scan. The Ravens are still, like, he's getting real good with the auto turrets, but he is losing Ravens. Oh, it's a lot of bolts flying either way. The turrets are killing so many Vikings, but a not insignificant 40 Ravens have been lost. GoldenKey has lost 3,000 more gas. GoldenKey, it's free right up until you lose 8 Ravens in every fight. Whereas Crimsonn has lost 14,000 more minerals. So, GoldenKey throwing it out there, though. I'm gonna have to give that a yellow card as, yeah, in theory. And also, not free. Like, that's not really how free is, but sure. So, there are some SCVs here. Bringing up some more supply. The bases are mining out. 13 more turrets on... Now this is a strategy I think we can all get behind. As the turrets per minute continue to skyrocket and the stocks of turret producing companies are through the roof, well, if you cover literally the whole map with turrets, where are they going to put their auto turrets? There's no space. Okay, it's the millennial problem. All the boomers are taking up all the turret jobs, not making any room for a counter battle cruiser. And he scrambles one. Okay, so that was optimistic, but it was a decoy attack! Once again, the bait and switch. But we do have to ask ourselves the question of what is the point of attacking this base? To secure these 515 minerals. Golden Key. He's starting to up his WPM and not his APM. Crimsonn, thanks. It is true. That is a good point. The exchanges will continue. On the level of a action movie, the dialogue is almost as cliche as the campaign of the game they're currently playing. And the battle will continue. The tanks will take it out. The Ravens, I mean... Technically, we have to remember, lest we forget, in order to win a game of StarCraft, the only technical requirement is you destroy all of their buildings. Yep, those are mines, say the medevacs, wandering into them. There are the Ravens, moving forward. But the auto turrets, some of them are blocked. Good Viking micro, unfortunately a Widow mine from left field. How much is left to mine? After the proxy wrecks economic devastation for both sides. Oh my god. After all of that. Oh, Marines. It is now 14,000 more minerals lost for Crimsonn. A full blockade of auto turrets will drive it back. Thors and Vikings, not bad counters here, especially with the minimal anti-armor missiles. He's very focused on getting the auto turrets, and that's about it. Unfortunately, there seems to be a bit of a traffic jam preventing the Thors from participating in the fight. But once the Thors finally get around this bureaucratic... Okay. Okay, the Thors, they're going back into the bait. It seems like their pathfinding is nearly as good as Christopher Columbus. It's like, well, we didn't find what we were looking for, but we did find this main base, and we were totally the first ones here. It's like, all right. Whatever you say, Mr. Thor, you're the one with the guns. All right. Very large guns. Are you compensating for something, Mr. Thor? I like do better in Titanfall. Oh my god, the Vikings are clipping into each other like the good old days on the Wings of Liberty. It was actually changed in Wings of Liberty because players were getting so good with it. You can't patrol units too close together because essentially they just form a singularity where you couldn't tell if it was like 50 Vikings or Void Rays or 3. Like, you knew it was more than one, you just didn't know. Like, now you at least you have to manually click it. So that's why there's like a minimum distance on patrol. The Viking count is well into one-shotting Ravens phase. The Thors are still touring their childhood home. Which is kind of weird, but sure. I'm excited for the great reveal to both players that these Thors are still here. The Golden Key is not actually maxed out. He's researching Stim, which is something you can do, as well as adding barracks and +1 armor as we do the cycle continues as we rotate through the unit compositions. He has enough money to build approximately, like... Okay, that's 50,000 Marines. No, wait. That's not how numbers work. That's 500 Marines. 20 Marines per 1,000 times 25,000.
We're fucked, crew! Command is drunk again!
The numbers don't lie, and they spell death to you!
It's a lot of Marines. Well, oh wait, the Thors are out. What am I? Oh, surprise! Dropping the hammer. The javelin missiles laying it. The Thors technically outrange the auto turret deploy range. So the big boys have hit the field. That's some big bada boom hardware right there. As all the Raven count knocked out of the sky, a few Vikings, but there you go. The grand reveal. 55 Ravens dying so far. Still 4,000 more gas. Crimsonn is well on his way to mining out his half the map. GoldenKey is even closer himself. Oh my. Widowmine's still taking a bite. Or 5. Oh, the Vikings! Getting caught! Oh, maybe not. Oh. The landing was maybe questionable, but the Ravens are stacking up to deploy their auto turrets. Suddenly, the Thors taking full advantage. They have their SCVs to repair. Don't worry. All you need, like, if you get every single thing that shoots at a Thor shoots at their ankles, which is why SCVs are able to repair them. It's like, Winter, what about air units? To that I say, shut the fuck up. Moving on. Concussive shells, 4 Ravens, and +3 ship weapons, all finishing for the GoldenKey. The Raven count is dwindling. Ship weapons only affects units that have an attack. The auto turrets are just cosplaying actual turrets, so they're buildings. They're just temporary buildings. Don't do it! He lands the Vikings. Kills. Well, actually, they're not terrible against auto turrets. He's going for it. He's going for it. You know what I'm really waiting for? It's starting to look like Crimsonn he's found the unit combat. I mean, what actually beats this many Thors, right? I'm waiting for the commentary. Okay, I'm excited because Crimsonn has a free pass right now. He gets a free pass to say almost whatever he wants, obviously within reason. But he still has one free response queued up. At least, maybe 1.5. As he blasts through here. Still maxed out his GoldenKey. Anti-armor missile utilized on a single tank. That is the first time we've seen that, I think. And it's actually from Crimsonn, who kind of missed the mark with that one. But he does slaughter all the poorly upgraded Marines with 3 Thors and Vikings, because of course he did. As GoldenKey, the grand Marine reveal was never going to be as dramatic as the Thor reveal, because of course it wasn't, because that's not how it worked. The mules will drop to repair. GoldenKey can rotate through a few hundred more Marines if he'd like. Thors and Vikings, if it ain't broke. We're almost at the complete and utter mine-out phase. There are only 2 gas geysers there's only about 1,500 more gas left for GoldenKey. He will have 6,000 more. And that is it. And at that point, whatever he's got is what he has. Crimsonn, on the other hand, has a little more. Looks like 1,500 and 300. He's got 1,800 more, so he's going to have 6,500. Oh my, the Marines not cutting it. There's a Banshee with cloak. He uncloaks it. Very diligent micro. Unfortunately, there are turrets and Ravens everywhere. I'm not sure the Banshee's a huge difference maker, but I'm pretty sure that dozens of Thors are. The turrets in the main still finding some value for the first time this game. Crimsonn, remember, he has that response. He has the privilege. I hope he uses it. As he's just pounding through the main GoldenKey was so confident. It's not feeling quite... There's no such thing as free. Not here, not at lunchtime, and not in StarCraft. That's not how... Oh, well, Banshee had a rough day. He's gonna try to build some turrets, but unfortunately those Ravens do not have the range. GoldenKey has kind of been beaten back into the StarCraft equivalent of the Dark Ages. He's building Marines. He scans... GoldenKey is now supply blocked. Whereas one of the scariest Terran armies you can build is now currently... You guys, hold a second. No one gets to come down this ramp until they're repaired. Okay, next. Next. Oh, well. Next. All right. Everybody passes through the checkpoint. That is some of the most diligent repairing I've ever seen. Suddenly, Crimsonn has more supply and army than GoldenKey can even build right now. Oh, Widowmines still having their day. The Widowmines have done quite well for themselves. But there's very little stopping Crimsonn now. Slowly but surely, pounding through. There's not that much left. Like, the physical amount of space left. He can't build enough army supply in time. Should have just built Thors in the beginning, GoldenKey. You seem so confident. Where's your free stuff? Oh, he got it in time. He did. And I think we just knew. We obviously know now. You know, the price may have been free, but it cost him the game. You and I say this with solidarity. Little bitch. The GoldenKey, standing on his high horse, so high he fell off and broke his chances of winning the game. Crimsonn, 10, 11 out of 10. A supply blocked level response. GoldenKey raised his WPM, and Crimsonn took his ladder points. What a game. A journey, really. Whoa. Crimsonn. Hearts and, well, scanning a lot of minds. But he takes it. It looked rough. He looked like he was struggling. But tenacity. Slowly but surely. Working his way through. Paying the price. But he understands true victories cost something. Well, thank you to Wheeljack Attack for recommending this in the Discord channel. Thank you. Well, it's pretty obvious Crimsonn for allowing us this look into what might not be bronze, but is truly something that embraces the essence and the spirit and the state of mind and so much more. Well, like and subscribe, ring the bell, comment. What else? There are a lot more buttons. You know. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bronze League Heroes.
Hell, it's about time.